2 minutes left. Archangel Michael cries out your name. He says your long-awaited miracle has been held back by a hidden enemy. This isn't a joke. A shocking revelation about who's against you is inside. Open immediately before it's too late. The final moments are upon you. The sands of the hourglass are nearly spent. There are only 2 minutes left, not metaphorically, but spiritually. The countdown has begun, and heaven is watching. The trumpet has not yet sounded, but the vibration has already reached the earth. Archangel Michael, the warrior of heaven, the protector of destinies, stands at the edge of eternity with your name on his lips. He is not whispering. He is crying out. He is groaning with the sound of one who has waited too long for your release. Your miracle was not denied. It was held back. And it was not held by divine will, but by hidden opposition cloaked in familiarity. A presence in your life that does not belong in your breakthrough. A hand that once applauded you has now been used to delay you. Heaven has long been ready. The scrolls were written. The blessing was scheduled. The timing was aligned. But someone inserted interference. Michael has seen it. Heaven is not confused. But what grieves the angelic hosts is the delusion that you thought this was just life. No, this is war. Not natural delay, strategic sabotage. And while you have prayed, fasted, wept, and wondered, there hath been one among you who has known, who has watched you struggle, and stayed silent. Their silence is not ignorance, it is betrayal. But listen closely, this message is not for the casual. This is not for those who scroll by, shrug, or spectate. This is for the awakened. This is for the ones who feel the pressure in their chest but couldn't name it. This is for the ones who dream of movement but are surrounded by stillness. This is for the sensitive, the watchful, the obedient. There is divine frustration now, a holy dissatisfaction in the heavenlies. The delay has extended too far. The price has been paid, and now the courts of heaven demand action. You were never meant to stay in this place this long. This is not just a delay. This is an illegal extension of pain. This is your moment. This is the divine interruption. And you must make room in your spirit for what is being spoken. The veil is lifting. The truth is being sent. And Michael is releasing this word not to your ears, but to your destiny. This is your moment to recognize the code, to awaken to the hidden enemy, and to claim back what was always yours. This is not a message. This is a rescue. This is not content. This is spiritual combat. This is not opinion. This is holy intelligence. Open your spirit. This message is divine intervention. Type "I am chosen" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 666 is now surrounding you. My child, silence your surroundings. Michael speaks. Still your hands. Mute the world. Close the doors of distraction and open the chambers of your spirit. For this is not merely a message, not merely a moment. This is a divine summoning. Archangel Michael, commander of heaven's host, speaks not from afar but from the very edge of eternity, where the veil between realms is thinnest. And he speaks your name, not vaguely, not symbolically, but precisely, intentionally, urgently. There are only 2 minutes left. Let this settle deep into your soul, not as fear, but as divine reality. This moment has been ordained from before time. 2 minutes, a spiritual window that is rapidly closing. A lock is about to be sealed, and your decision in this moment will determine what is released or what remains restrained, what is loosed or what stays bound. This isn't routine. This is sacred. This isn't noise. This is prophecy. The countdown is real. The battle has intensified, and heaven, with all its angelic authority, is now interrupting the flow of your life, right here, right now, to make sure you hear what has been whispered for too long. Michael is not speaking out of ritual. He is shouting out of necessity. For too long you have wondered with questions buried beneath politeness. For too long you have accepted delay as destiny. For too long you have wept in silence while calling it strength. But Michael, the Archangel of intervention, now declares, enough. Can you feel it? The air is different. The pressure in your chest is not anxiety. It is holy contact. The prickling in your skin is not fear. It is the vibration of divine movement. Your atmosphere hath been pierced. The spirit realm has descended into your ordinary space. Why? Because heaven cannot afford to lose another moment with you unaware. The moment is too fragile. The hour is too exact. This is a divine interruption, a sacred breach, a holy crisis point where timelines pivot and destinies either shift forward or fall back into silence. You may wonder, why now? Because Michael sees what you don't. He sees the snares you mistook for detours. He sees the eyes watching you with cunning and envy. He sees the delay that's not just delay. It's a spiritual net woven around your purpose. He sees the enemy, not with horns and fire, but clothed in trust, close to your circle, feeding off your delay and smiling in your confusion. So now heaven breaks protocol. Now heaven bypasses layers of resistance to bring this to you directly. Your name is being called. Your attention is being summoned. You are not one among many. You are not lost in the crowd. Your name is rising like incense before the throne, and Michael, with sword in hand, declares, "Speak to them now." Heaven has seen your frustration, your midnight tears, the days where you almost gave up, but couldn't, the mornings you rose, heavy, yet still you moved, still you believed, still you gave when you lacked, still you served when you bled. That faith, that hidden endurance, has triggered divine response. But here is the warning: heaven is watching who listens and who scrolls away. You may think this is just another video, another message, another moment. It is not. It is a test. It is a seal breaker. It is a trumpet in disguise. Michael's cry is not soft. It is shaking the heavens. It is vibrating through realms. It is pulling on your spirit and asking, are you even listening? Have you grown numb to the supernatural? Have you gotten so used to the ache that you can't recognize the alarm? Have you allowed yourself to settle into survival while heaven is still calling for victory? Wake up. Heaven is crying out your name. Not the name people gave you, the name written in scrolls, the name hidden in your destiny, the name the enemy fears, the name the angels protect, the name that demons strategize against. That name is being announced now, and it is summoning you into attention. Time is collapsing. The illusion of waiting is breaking. You are not waiting on God. Heaven is waiting on your yes. And there are only 2 minutes left in this spiritual window before the gates close again. This is not to scare you. This is to awaken you. You've been asking for confirmation, and this is it. You've been asking for a sign, and Michael is shouting it. You've been asking why the breakthrough hasn't come, and heaven is pulling back the curtain so you can see what's really going on. But it starts here, in stillness, in silence, in surrender. Silence your surroundings. Michael speaks. Your breakthrough is within reach. but only if you stay still long enough to receive it. Only if you resist the urge to scroll past what your soul has been begging heaven to send. 2 minutes remain. The shift is almost complete. Will you be counted among those who listened? Will you be remembered as one who responded? Will you rise, or will you return to numbness? You know what's at stake. Now open your spirit and listen for your name. Type "I am anointed" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1122 is now activated. There's a strange ache in your chest that you stopped talking about. A frustration you've normalized. Days blur into nights, and every breakthrough feels like it's about to happen, but never quite does. Something always gets in the way. Just when you're about to step through, something pulls you back. The relationship collapses. The job offer disappears. The opportunity fades. The answer delays. And so you've silently asked, "What is wrong with me?" You've questioned yourself, doubted your prayers, even wondered if perhaps you were forgotten by heaven. But Michael is here now, roaring with authority, pulling back the curtain on the lie that's been tormenting you. You are not cursed. You are not unworthy. You are not forgotten. But you have been targeted. There is a war raging over your promise, not because of your past, but because of your future. The enemy has studied you. The kingdom of darkness is not confused about your power. They saw what you didn't see. They overheard the whispered plans of God concerning your life. And so they acted early. They launched attacks before your awareness could catch up. And the strategy? Evasion. Delay. Emotional fatigue. Hidden sabotage. You've asked yourself, why does everything almost work? Why do I get so close, only to lose again? Why do I feel the shift but never live in the shift? And now Michael speaks the words that have been choked in your spirit for years. This is not coincidence. This is sabotage. Not from the outside, but from within. Not from your enemies, but from your inner circle. There has been a presence close to you, too close. Someone who smiles but withholds. Someone who prays with you but never prays for you. Someone who offers advice but subtly steers you off course. They know what you carry. And though they will never say it, your elevation threatens their comfort. They can't grow where you're going, so they quietly sabotage what's pushing you forward. This is the ache you couldn't name. The emotional fog that made no sense. One moment you're clear, the next you're lost. One day you're confident, the next you're doubting everything you believe. This is not you. This is spiritual manipulation. This is the enemy using someone's insecurity to tie weights around your momentum. Have you felt watched? Misunderstood? Like something is always off but you can't prove it? That's not paranoia. That's warfare. Michael has been watching, sword drawn, waiting for the appointed time to expose what's been hiding in plain sight. And that time is now. He declares, there's someone you trust who is holding the door shut. And they know it. They may not even think of themselves as wicked. But they are being used. Used by jealousy. Used by insecurity. Used by dark whispers that tell them you're becoming too much. And while you've kept your heart pure, tried to include them, tried to explain your battles, they've smiled in your face while standing in the way of your release. This is a bitter truth, but it is necessary, because the door will not open until the hand holding it shut is removed. And heaven will not allow another season of delay on account of your emotional attachment to people not assigned to your destiny. You have cried long enough. You have waited long enough. You have believed long enough. And heaven has decided the interference must be removed. Michael is not asking for your permission. He is declaring a heavenly mandate. And though the revelation may sting, though the exposure may shake your trust, it will also shatter the chains of confusion that have bound you in cycles of almost and never. This is the sound of your deliverance. Truth. Truth is never comfortable, but it is always liberating. So look back with new eyes. Reflect without guilt. Feel the patterns. See the evidence. This is not accusation. This is revelation. The person you've tried to pull with you, they've been anchoring your flight. The conversations that left you drained, they were draining you on purpose. The advice that made you question your instincts, that wasn't guidance, it was distraction. They saw your light and feared their own shadow. But heaven says you cannot dim anymore. You cannot chink anymore. You cannot delay another hour. A miracle is not missing. It's waiting for you to walk away from what's been strategically stalling you. This will hurt, but this will heal. There's someone you trust who is holding the door shut, and they know it. If this message resonates with you and you feel moved to support, consider giving a super thanks with contributions of up to $10. Your kindness helps us bring more powerful content your way. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating via PayPal using the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel. When you do, you're stepping into a community of prophetic insight, spiritual empowerment, and divine clarity. We're releasing weekly revelations you won't want to miss. Subscribe now and stay aligned. Type "enough is enough" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 777 has now been activated over your life. This is not personal. This has never been personal. This is spiritual, deeply, violently, eternally spiritual. Archangel Michael speaks again, his voice like thunder wrapped in truth, shattering illusions that have long kept you blind. What you faced was never just about your past, your pain, or your personality. This has always been about your calling, about your next level, about your heavenly assignment that threatens the darkness with every breath you take in obedience. Let it pierce you now. This was not a coincidence. This was a coordinated campaign from the kingdom of darkness. And the proof of your calling has always been the ferocity of your warfare. The attacks weren't random. The delays weren't circumstantial. The betrayals weren't just relational mishaps. These were demonic arrangements disguised as daily life. The enemy didn't come with a pitchfork. He came with familiarity. He came with comfort. He came through people you once celebrated and shared secrets with. Because if the enemy can't destroy your calling, he will attempt to delay it, long enough for you to doubt it ever existed. Michael has been watching from the heavens. With every sigh of your spirit, with every moment you collapsed in confusion, heaven logged the data. Divine surveillance has tracked every delay, every sabotaged opportunity, every poisoned conversation disguised as concern. Nothing was missed. Every motive was seen. Every strategy noted. Every spirit assigned to your case has been exposed. You are not crazy. You are not dramatic. You are not imagining things. The spiritual conflict has simply outgrown the earthly mask. The shaking you feel is the unseen realm pressing into visibility. God is allowing your eyes to see what your spirit has sensed all along. Hear this clearly. God tests to reveal you. The enemy distracts to distort you. You are caught between the two, a holy crossroad. One path is pruning, the other is sabotage. And without spiritual discernment, they feel the same. Both hurt, Both cost it. Both stretch you. But only one leads to elevation. The other is a carefully designed prison that looks like a detour, but is really a delay dressed up in logic. You must understand, the enemy fears who you are becoming, not who you were, not even who you are today, but who you are on the verge of becoming once you step out of the confusion and into the clarity of spiritual warfare. This betrayal isn't about what was done to you. It's about what heaven is about to release through you. This is not just emotional pain. This is resistance to divine momentum. The closer you've come to the shift, the stranger things have become. The people who once cheered you on have grown cold. The ones who used to understand you now seem distant. That is not rejection. That is divine separation for the sake of preservation. The spiritual realm is dividing wheat from chaff, not just in the world, but in your circle, your relationships, your inner world. Michael speaks. Your pain is not punishment. It is prophetic positioning. Yes, God allowed this, but He did not endorse it. He permitted this conflict because your training required fire. Your discernment needed sharpening. Your strength had to be tempered. But now the test has shifted into war, and war requires warriors. You can no longer see this as life being difficult. This is not just bad luck. This is a battle over the influence you carry. Every time you wanted to give up but didn't, it broke a chain. Every time you chose obedience when rebellion whispered, it shattered an assignment from hell. And every tear you've cried in the silent darkness has been collected in the courts of heaven, stored as currency, ready to be exchanged for power, clarity, and favor. Understand this. This war is not about your personality. It's about your position. Your presence is a threat to principalities. Your very existence as an awakened one stirs fear in the realm of darkness. Because once you walk in the fullness of who you are, every false alliance must break, every disguised enemy must flee, and every blocked gate must swing open under the pressure of divine authority. So stop blaming yourself. Stop wondering if you did something wrong. This is not your fault. This is your evidence. The betrayal proves the value of your presence. The delay reveals the magnitude of your destiny. The sabotage confirms the size of your anointing. Michael stands with fire in his eyes and a sword drenched in glory, declaring over your life, the spiritual war is real. The conflict is close, but heaven is closer. You're not alone in this battle. You are surrounded by angels on assignment. You are wrapped in holy protection. And the God who anointed you for this hour has already made provision for your victory. But you must shift your lens. You must stop seeing your pain as punishment and start seeing it as the pressure of purpose. The enemy's access ends where your awareness begins. And now that you know, everything changes. You were never fighting people. You were wrestling principalities. So lift your head. Adjust your armor. Ready your spirit. This is not the end. This is the exposure before elevation. This has always been about your next level. Type I am awakened in the comments if you receive this message. Lesson code 444 is now encircling you. In 72 hours, what is hidden will rise. The words come like a thunderclap through the atmosphere, carried on the breath of Archangel Michael himself. The time for gentle warnings has ended. The veil is lifting, not slowly but suddenly. A prophetic line hath been crossed, and now the spiritual realm prepares for revelation. What was whispered in darkness will be shouted in light. What was concealed will be dragged into the open, not by your hand, but by the hand of God. Michael speaks with fire in his voice. You are being watched, but not by who you think. There is a mouth forming your name even now, but it is not for your celebration. It is for your sabotage. Pay attention. The strange shift you felt in recent days, it is not random. The sudden coldness in familiar people, the awkward silences, the subtle changes in tone, these are signs. You are no longer in normal territory. You've crossed into a season of spiritual exposure, and those who were once content to play friendly are now being provoked by the light on your life. You didn't do anything wrong. You just got too close to your breakthrough. And your closeness has stirred agitation in the realm of darkness. You've begun to walk too confidently. You dared to believe again. You've spoken things into the atmosphere that hell had worked hard to keep buried. You've revived dreams the enemy tried to suffocate. That movement, that resistance, has triggered retaliation. This is your moment to discern beyond the surface. Listen with your spirit now. Someone is preparing an ambush. Not necessarily physical, but emotional, energetic, spiritual. A confrontation is coming. One designed to confuse, destabilize, and make you question your discernment. It will come cloaked in concern, dressed as correction, or even disguised as love. But at its core, it is poison, a final attempt to pull you off course before the release arrives. You must understand the hour. This is not the time to explain. This is the time to observe. Heaven will not allow this enemy to linger much longer. Divine order is descending, but before the removal comes the exposure. And in the next 72 hours, there will be moments that shake you, conversations that confuse you, people who begin to shift their posture without clear explanation. Do not react emotionally. Do not engage impulsively. This is the unraveling of false alliance. This is the consequence of divine light colliding with hidden darkness. And what is even more chilling, your name is being spoken, but not in honor, not in love. Your name is being passed through mouths that have no right to carry it, whispered in rooms where you are not present, twisted into stories where you don't belong, not for your elevation but for your condemnation. But do not fear. Michael assures you, no weapon formed against you shall prosper, but it will be revealed. The weapon won't destroy you, but you will see it. You must see it, because you've been praying for clarity. You've been asking for truth, and truth, when it arrives, does not always come gently. This exposure is not punishment. It is protection. God is not trying to shame you. He is trying to shield you from further harm. You were loyal to the wrong one for too long. You defended those who silently cursed your rise. You remained close to those who quietly hoped you would fail. But heaven has been keeping score. The Holy Spirit has been documenting every act of treachery, every manipulated moment, every false agreement made in spiritual darkness. And the scroll of justice is about to be opened. This is a sacred warning. You will begin to feel a shift in atmosphere. Some people will grow anxious around you. Others will become critical, combative, or cold. These changes are not your fault. Do not internalize what is spiritual. This is not a mood swing. This is a spirit being unsettled by your light. You will also notice behavioral extremes. Someone overly affectionate out of nowhere, another subtly distant, someone speaking too much, another growing quiet. Pay attention to the inconsistencies. These are signs. These are alarms from heaven sounding in the behavior of men. But listen closely now. Michael is not just warning you. He is protecting you. The angels have been dispatched to guard the doorway of your destiny. They will not allow the enemy to enter. But you must be awake. You must remain spiritually vigilant. The confrontation is near. The tension is rising. But your job is not to fight. Your job is to see. You will soon witness something that shocks you. But it is not the end. It is the beginning of clarity. And when you see it, do not cry. Do not panic. Rejoice. Because what is being exposed was never meant to remain. And every delay you suffered, every moment you questioned your worth, every blocked door, it all had roots in this hidden sabotage. In 72 hours, the unseen will become seen. In 72 hours, heaven will expose what you were never meant to carry. And when the truth rises, you will also rise. Because your name is in someone's mouth, and not with blessing. But heaven has now heard it, and heaven will answer. Type "I will not miss my moment" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1919 is being released upon your path right now. Be still. This is your strategy now. Stillness is not weakness. Stillness is not silence in fear. Stillness is sacred warfare. And in this hour, stillness will be your greatest shield. Archangel Michael speaks again, this time not with the fire of alarm, but with the weight of wisdom. His voice comes like a covering, thick with authority, wrapped in divine calm. You've heard the warnings. You've felt the pressure building. You've begun to see the signs in people, the unraveling in relationships, the strange tensions in rooms that once felt safe. And now, the heavens issue a command, not to fight, not to confront, not to defend yourself, but to withdraw into holy stillness. Yes, this will feel unnatural. Everything in you wants to speak. Everything in you wants to explain. You want to prove your innocence, defend your name, fix the fracture. But Michael warns you, do not explain yourself. Do not react. Watch the veil fall. You are not in a season of confrontation. You are in a season of revelation. And revelation doesn't require reaction. It requires recognition. The enemy wants your words because your words hold power. If he can't defeat you in the spirit, he will try to bait you into the flesh. You will stir false accusations, petty arguments, twisted conversations, all to provoke you into a carnal battle. Because once you fight on his terms, you fight outside of divine covering. But heaven is covering you. The Most High is hiding you in plain sight. Michael reminds you, you are covered, you are heard, you are hidden in the shadow of divine protection. You don't need to make noise to be defended. You don't need to shout to be seen. Your obedience is louder than your defense. Your silence in this season is a spiritual roar. And while you say nothing, the angels will say everything. Yes, there is chatter. Yes, there are whispers. Yes, there are plans forming in darkness to discredit what God has elevated. But this is not new. This is ancient. It is the pattern of the enemy, always accusing just before God announces. And you are on the brink of divine announcement. So protect your mind. Guard your emotions. Pull your energy inward. Don't give them the reaction they are fishing for. Their goal is not truth. Their goal is delay. Their aim is not clarity. Their aim is distraction. And every time you explain yourself to someone who is committed to misunderstanding you, you waste holy energy. Step into the holy shadows now. Let God fight. Let the angels move. Let the fire of heaven handle what your flesh cannot reach. There is no power in proving yourself. There is only power in posture. And the posture for this hour is not screaming. It is stillness under sacred command. Michael has drawn his sword. The spiritual assignments against your life are now being broken in silence. Yes, even now, heaven is surrounding the people who misused your name. The tongue that rose against you in secret is being seized in the spirit. You don't have to lift your voice. God has already lifted the case. The court of heaven is in session, and you are not the accused. You are the anointed. But the anointed must be quiet sometimes, not because they are weak, but because they are protected. And protection comes through obedience. Obedience to the invisible instructions. Obedience to the inner promptings. Obedience to the whisper of the Holy Spirit that says, don't reply. Don't evade. Don't retaliate. Let them talk. Let them twist. Let them guess. Let them project. All the while, you remain wrapped in divine stealth. Because when God reveals you next, no one will be able to deny what He placed on you. Do not fear being misunderstood in this hour. Every misjudgment is being recorded. Every false witness is being documented. And every hand that tried to tamper with your name is writing their own sentence. Michael is not just a messenger, he is an enforcer. And he has now stepped between you and the plot assigned to derail your release. Your job is simple: retreat into obedience. Stay off the battlefield of words. Cancel the meeting. Delay the conversation. Pull back from the ones who seem off. Don't ask for clarification. Don't chase closure. Heaven is your closure. And trust this: heaven knows how to close a door so loudly that no one questions who did it. You are being escorted through transition now. The kind of transition that doesn't make sense to people. The kind of silence that gets misread. The kind of distance that gets judged. But let them misread it. Let them judge it. You are not obeying people. You are obeying prophetic instruction. This is divine stealth. You are moving in silence because God is shifting in power. Stillness is not doing nothing. Stillness is doing exactly what God said, even when it makes no sense to the flesh. You are not being passive. You are being preserved. You are not avoiding conflict. You are being positioned above it. You are not running from battle. You are standing in the strategy of heaven. Michael has already surrounded the ambush. You will not walk into what was meant to trap you. You will not be caught in webs of confusion. You will not be baited into conflict that drains your destiny. Watch the veil fall, he says. The mask is coming off. The plots are collapsing. And you, silent, still, surrendered, are walking through the middle of it all untouched. This is how the remnant moves. This is how the anointed rise. This is how miracles unlock, not with force, but with faithful stillness. Type "I am hidden for His glory" in the comments if you receive this word. Blessing code 717 is now preserving your path. This is not who you were. This is who you've become. Let that revelation settle into your soul. Let it shake the dust off the labels they place on you. Let it ignite every dormant part of you that's been sleeping under the weight of confusion. You are not the version of yourself that was lost, silent, or overlooked. You are not the broken, doubting, fragmented spirit who questioned if they were worthy of a miracle. You are not who the enemy tried to bury. You are becoming who God always knew you would be. Archangel Michael stands with power emanating from his very being, speaking into the core of your identity now. Not your wounds, not your pain, not your shame, but your identity. You are rising, he declares. Not just emotionally, not just circumstantially, spiritually. Heaven sees your transformation. The angels have recorded your progress. The realm of darkness has trembled at your growth. You were supposed to give up. You were expected to break. What you didn't. What you've endured was not just pressure. It was divine preparation. The pain didn't disqualify you. It forged you. The delay didn't cancel the blessing. It expanded your capacity to carry it. The betrayal didn't break you. It burned away what couldn't follow you into the next level. You've been in spiritual training. Not in a classroom, but in the fire. Not in a conference room, but in the wilderness. And while others saw weakness, heaven saw wings being grown in secret. The warfare didn't stop you, it stretched you. This is the shift. Not a shift around you, a shift in you. You no longer need external validation to feel chosen. You no longer crave the applause of those who can't see your calling. You no longer wait for people to recognize what heaven already confirmed. Because now, you know. You feel it. You carry it. You walk with it. It's not arrogance. It's awakened authority. You're not who they remember. You're not the version of yourself that begged for approval, doubted your hearing, or apologized for shining too brightly. You've been through too much to play small again. You've sacrificed too much to go silent again. You have seen too much to pretend you're not anointed. This is not about ego. This is about alignment. It is time to step into the version of you that has been forged by the fire. This is what the enemy feared. Not your past, not your resume, but your realization. Because the moment you realized who you were, the enemy lost access to manipulate your identity. Michael proclaims, the crown was always yours, but you had to survive the wilderness to learn how to carry it. You passed the test. You remained faithful in obscurity. You didn't curse God in the waiting. You did abort the mission in the silence. Even when you couldn't see the way, you kept walking. Even when the vision went dim, you kept declaring it. That persistence, that unshakable fire inside of you, it has summoned heaven's response. The narrative is shifting. You will no longer live under the shadow of what they said. You will no longer live beneath the weight of delay. You are not in hiding anymore. You are in emergence. And this emergence is not flashy. It's holy. It's strategic. It's prophetic. It's birthed from seasons where you bled silently and obeyed stubbornly. Your elevation is not about revenge. It's about release. You are being elevated not because they were wrong, but because God was always right about you. The enemy mocked your delay because he feared your destiny. And now the time has come. Now the oil begins to pour. Now the wings unfold. You are the one they overlooked. You are the one they counted out. You are the one heaven chose anyway. And now, the version of you that the fire produced is no longer seeking permission to stand tall. You are no longer digesting the opinions of the unhealed. You are no longer dimming your discernment to keep circles comfortable. This is the era of your unveiling, and not for vanity, but for victory. Michael's voice thunders again. They underestimated what God hid inside you, and that was heaven's strategy all along. God allowed your becoming to happen in secret. God permitted you to be overlooked so that no one could take credit for your emergence. They saw the caterpillar. They never saw the cocoon. But now the wings are breaking through the veil. Now the sky is opening. Now you must fly, not to escape, but to occupy. You are not just becoming bold. You are becoming dangerous to darkness. Your prayers have weight. Your words carry wind. Your presence disturbed spirits. Why? Because you shifted. You've grown. You've been entrusted with power that hell can no longer contain. This is not ego. This is your elevation. This is not hype. This is holy identity. You are not returning to who you were. That version of you no longer fits. You are no longer asking, "Am I called?" You're declaring, "I'm here." You are no longer wondering, "Will it ever happen?" You're hearing Michael whisper, "It already has." So rise now, not as a victim, but as a vessel. Not in fear, but in fire. The same pain that threatened to destroy you is now the power pushing you forward. And nothing, no delay, no betrayal, no silence, can stop what heaven has already announced. You are the shift. You are the miracle in motion. You are the proof that the fire failed to consume you. Type "My identity is unlocked" in the comments if you receive this word. Blessing code 858 is surrounding your soul right now. The blockage was permission for divine rearrangement. Let the weight of that truth settle deep in your bones. What you thought was punishment with divine positioning. What you perceived as a closed door was heaven saying, "Not yet," because what's coming needs clean hands and an untangled atmosphere. The delay you hated, the unanswered prayers that made you cry, the doors that slammed in your face, all of it was working under a higher intelligence. Divine intelligence. Heavenly wisdom. Angelic strategy. Archangel Michael speaks again, this time not in the tone of warning, but in the cadence of revelation. There's a fire in his voice, but this fire doesn't burn, it illuminates. Your miracle, he says, was never denied. It was protected. You've wept for what didn't happen. You've mourned what didn't come. You've agonized over promises that felt like they were floating just out of reach. But heaven says, it wasn't lost, it was locked. Not forever, but until the enemy was removed from the room. Because God will not allow your blessing to be tainted by unclean presence. What's holy cannot be mixed with manipulation. What's eternal cannot be entangled with sabotage. So the delay was heaven shielding you from defilement. The silence was strategic. The pause with preservation. Here's something you need to hear now, and it will shake the very foundation of your understanding. The enemy you're discovering now, the one who was close, familiar, and quietly obstructing your flow, was permitted to rise so they could be exposed. You asked for discernment. Heaven answered. But revelation comes at a cost. The people you wanted with you may not be qualified to walk into what's next. This isn't just warfare. This is divine justice, Michael proclaims. The same people who spoke death over your promise will now watch its resurrection. But they will not have access to it, because their hearts were revealed in your delay. Their motives surfaced in your stillness, and their interference became undeniable once heaven lifted the veil. Hear it clearly now. You are not under judgment. You are under release. This season has not been a denial. It's been an unveiling. Heaven delayed the manifestation so it wouldn't be shared with defiled spirits. God didn't want the enemy to eat from the same table he prepared for you. The feast was not canceled. It was rescheduled, because the guest list had to be revised. Michael leans in now, his voice almost a whisper, full of divine intimacy. Heaven has whispered your name into destiny's scrolls, and the page has turned. You are not at the end of the story. You are at the turning point. And what is about to manifest will feel like a flood. Favor will chase you down. Opportunities will begin to find you. Closed doors will unlock without explanation. Why? Because the blockage has been lifted. The dam has broken. And your miracle is now looking for you. It was never withheld to hurt you. It was hidden to protect you. And now that the enemy has been unmasked, now that spiritual vision has been restored, the flow can begin. You have passed the test. You endured the delay without cursing God. You stayed obedient in silence. You kept showing up when everything in you wanted to disappear. And heaven took note. Michael reminds you now, this blessing is not just a reward. It is a release of what was always yours. Yes, the enemy tried to hijack it. Yes, there was interference. Yes, the plan was to wear you out, confuse your identity, and break your will. But it failed. The darkness failed. And now what was blocked is being escorted back into your life with angels guarding every inch of it. Do not mourn what was lost, because what's returning is undefiled, multiplied, and fortified. The connections coming now are divine. The provision arriving now is appointed. The doors opening now are irreversible. This is not random restoration. This is prophetic justice. The timeline you thought was ruined is being rewritten in front of your eyes. And everything is aligning, not according to your calendar, but by the scrolls of heaven. Heaven didn't forget you and protected you. God didn't reject you. He refined you. The angels didn't delay because you weren't worthy. They paused because the environment wasn't clean. Now it is. And so, Michael speaks with finality in this segment. You are released. You are chosen. You are written into destiny again, and this time, nothing and no one will intercept the flow. If this message has pierced your spirit and you feel led to support, consider sowing into this word by giving a super thanks with contributions of up to $20. Your generosity makes a lasting difference and empowers us to bring even more of these powerful revelations to you. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating via PayPal using the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. And make sure to subscribe to this channel. You're not just subscribing to content, you're aligning with continual prophetic insight, breakthrough teachings, and spiritual empowerment. Join the movement. Stay connected. You're with us. Type the blockage is broken in the comments if you receive this revelation. Blessing code 3030 is now flowing over your house. Heaven moves when you say yes. Let the declaration thunder inside your chest. Let it peel back the layers of fear, doubt, and hesitation that have built up over time. Because now, not yesterday, not someday, but now, is the moment when heaven bends close, angels pause in mid-flight, and destiny hovers over your life, waiting for your agreement. Not your perfection. Not your understanding. Yes, your yes. Archangel Michael stands before the scrolls of your assignment, illuminated by the fire of divine purpose, and he says with undeniable clarity, your name has already been written in victory. Now you must speak it. You must claim it. You must come into agreement with the heaven that has already chosen you. This is not about waiting for a sign anymore. This is about becoming the sign. You are not hoping for change. You are the vessel through which change is coming. You are the evidence of what grace looks like after the battle. You are the testimony that emerges from fire with wings, not ashes. This is your call to activate what has been dormant, to resurrect what life and trauma tried to bury. This is your time to open your mouth and speak what God already planted inside of you. Heaven moves when you say yes. That yes is not soft. It is not hesitant. It is a thunderous agreement in the realm of the Spirit. And when you say yes, angels are dispatched. When you say yes, chains that have clung to generations are broken in a moment. When you say yes, heaven accelerates the promise. But heaven will not force you. God will not drag you into destiny. The door has been unlocked. The interference has been removed. The anointing has matured, but it is your voice that completes the transaction. It is your agreement that turns potential into power. So declare it now. Speak your name in faith. Say it out loud. Not the name they called you in mockery. Not the label they use to reduce you. Speak the name heaven knows, the name soaked in oil, carved into eternity, etched in the records of the righteous. Say it. I am called. I am chosen. I am covered. Speak this. I choose light. I rise now. No more delay. Let your spirit feel the shift as you declare it. Let every lying spirit that's been whispering confusion feel the fire of your yes. Let the demons that assign sabotage to your name scatter as you come into agreement with truth. Because your voice is not just speech, it is activation. You've waited long enough. You've listened. You discerned. You've seen the enemy. You've watched the sabotage fall. And now Michael says walk. Walk in boldness. Walk in fullness. Walk in the divine reality that the miracle wasn't lost. It was loading. The preparation was longer because the promise is heavier. And now, you are not only ready to carry it, you are equipped to multiply it. Destiny is not an idea. Destiny is not a dream. Destiny is now. It is what you step into when you decide to stop entertaining lesser things. It's what comes alive when you refuse to beg for crumbs from tables you've outgrown. Destiny ignites when you finally say, I don't need their permission. I already have God's. You were never meant to wait in shadows your whole life. There is a platform in the spirit with your name on it. And when you step onto it, you don't step alone. You step with angels backing you, with Michael guarding your rear, with heaven resourcing your movement. Because this is not ambition. This is assignment. But you must speak. You must move. You must rise. You cannot just receive this message with emotion. You must walk it with conviction. Don't just feel something. Shift something. This is not a passive word. This is a word with muscle. A word with momentum. It's reaching into your dry places and breathing fire into them. It's calling every sleeping gift in you to attention. It's disrupting complacency. It's rebuking fear. And it's announcing it's time. So speak your own release. Command your own soul to come into agreement. You don't need another prophecy. You don't need another confirmation. You need a decision. Say it out loud. I am in alignment. I am in motion. I will no longer be delayed. And understand this. When you move, things around you will shake. Not because you're doing something wrong, but because your movement displaces darkness. Your obedience offends control. Your yes will confuse people who only knew you by your wounds. But let it confuse them. Your calling is not a group discussion. It's a divine instruction. Heaven is moving on your behalf. But heaven is waiting for one thing, your agreement. And the moment you release it, chains will fall. Doors will open. Resources will find you. Favor will chase you. This is the hour. The portal is open. The atmosphere is charged. Don't hesitate now. Don't go back to overthinking. Don't water down what God has poured out. Heaven moves when you say yes. So say it, and walk. Type ISAYYES in the comments to come into divine agreement. Blessing code 111 is now activated over your name. There are things happening right now that your natural eyes cannot see. Transactions are taking place. Scrolls are being reviewed. Swords are being drawn. Tears are being weighed. Heaven is moving in silence. and your spirit can feel the tremble. Archangel Michael stands at the gates of divine order, overseeing a sacred exchange that has long been underway. You may think nothing has shifted yet. You may look around and see the same surroundings, the same people, the same bills, the same waiting. But listen to the silence. Something holy is happening in the invisible realm. Behind the scenes of your suffering, Michael says there has been negotiation, divine exchange, supernatural justice. Every tear you cried in silence became currency in the spirit. Every time you held your tongue when slander pressed against you, a record was made in the courtroom of heaven. Every time you chose peace when provoked, when you chose purity over petness, forgiveness over bitterness, surrender over vengeance, heaven took note. Not one moment of obedience was wasted. Not one egg went unnoticed. Your pain has not just been endured, it hath been invested. There's a principle in the spirit realm, the principle of divine exchange. It is the process where what was taken is returned, multiplied. What was broken is restored, fortified. What was denied is redeemed, glorified. And this exchange does not happen in noise. It does not happen in front of crowds. It happens in quiet power. Right now, while you're still praying for clarity, angels are in motion executing justice. While you're still processing betrayal, heaven is releasing repayment. While you're still finding the words to explain the weight in your spirit, scrolls are being sealed with your name written in fire. The realm of the spirit is not reacting to your situation. It is finalizing the reversal. Your tears funded the transaction, Michael whispers. And now, the ledger of heaven declares you in overflow. What was taken is returning. Not just physically, but spiritually, emotionally, prophetically. Years that were stolen are being accounted for. Opportunities that passed you by because of sabotage are being replaced by divine appointments. The same rooms that once rejected you are being reconstructed to fit your re-entry. This is not payback. This is prophetic justice. And it is happening in silence because the enemy is not permitted to intercept at this time. You've been feeling uneasy, not because something is wrong, but because your spirit senses the return. You felt the tension in your chest, the disruption in your sleep, the sudden tears without explanation. That is the sound of restoration drawing near. Your body can feel what your spirit is discerning. The atmosphere is thick with movement. The silence is not stagnation. It's spiritual recalibration. Heaven is not ignoring you. It's building something for you. Do you not know? Michael asks. Every delay carried weight. Every insult was fuel. Every disappointment was firewood for your altar. You were not abandoned. You were being refined in the forge of favor. And now that the refining is complete, the results must be delivered. But it won't look how you expected. It will come with announcement. It won't make sense to people who knew your pain. The restoration will be silent at first, then suddenly visible. Because when heaven restores, it does so without begging for permission. It doesn't ask the enemy if you're ready. It doesn't check in with those who doubted you. It moves with force, with fire, with finality. And this move is underway. Michael says there's a reason the warfare increased before this message found you. The enemy panicked because he sensed the angelic release coming. He tried to distract you, delay you, defeat you. But you stood. And because you stood, the exchange has been made. You gave God your sorrow. He's giving you strength. You laid down your confusion. He's giving you clarity. You surrendered the ashes of what they ruined. He's handing you the crown of what he rebuilt. And now, the divine delivery is en route. But here's the mystery. It's coming in a form that humbles your enemies and exalts your obedience. You will not need to prove a point. A blessing will do the talking. You will not need to shout about the warfare. The oil on your life will explain everything. You will not need to relive the betrayal. The favor that covers you will erase the sting of it. Heaven always repays with interest, and your interest is due. The enemies who laughed at your delay will witness your divine acceleration. The voices that mocked your stillness will now see your sudden elevation. The ones who whispered behind your back will have to watch the table God has prepared before your face. But this isn't about revenge. It's about alignment. Heaven is putting things where they belong. Your name is being restored to where it was always meant to be, among the appointed, among the faithful, among the victorious. And when it all unfolds, when the blessing shows up in its fullness, remember this moment. The stillness before the shift, the quiet before the celebration. Because you're not crazy. You're not stuck. You're not waiting anymore. You are witnessing the fulfillment of what has already been approved. Michael concludes, his sword now sheathed in glory. You've been uneasy because your spirit heard the sound of returning things. Now you know why. Now you see it. And now prepare to walk in it. Type "I receive" what's returning in the comments if this word is for you. Blessing code 9922 is activated over every place of loss. Everything meant to harm you will bless you. Let those words shake the very ground under your feet. Let them echo through the chambers of your past, through every bitter betrayal, through every manipulated moment, through every dark night where you cried, "God, where are you?" Because this is the moment where heaven pulls back the curtain and shows you nothing was wasted. Not even the pain. Especially the pain. Archangel Michael stands now, not in warning, not even in silence, but in announcement. His wings are wide. His sword burns with righteousness. And in his voice is the decree that your spirit has long waited to hear. Justice is here. You have carried injustice like a weight, not just externally, but in your very soul. You were mistreated when all you gave was loyalty. You were misjudged while you held your tongue. You were attacked in places you were assigned to serve. And yet you remain faithful. Yet you continue to show up. Yet you stayed in alignment. But now the tables are turning. Not by your hand, by heaven's. The season of being overlooked is over, Michael says. The time of false accusations is finished. The verdict from heaven had been released, and it favors you. This is divine reversal. Where there was shame, now comes honor. Where there was loss, now comes overflow. Where you were once mocked for the delay, now they will marvel at your rise. Because the same people who laughed at your silence will be forced to witness your sound. And the sound is not noise, it is elevation. The sound is not vengeance, it is vindication. Hear this clearly. The enemy overplayed his hand. What he meant to destroy you has become the very stage God will use to display his glory. The rejection, it built your resilience. The delay, it trained your discernment. The betrayal, it was the gateway to clarity. And now, what once struck you will be what carries you. Heaven is flipping the script. You were cast as the victim, but God is rewriting you as the victor. You were framed by false stories, but God is about to tell the truth through your restoration. You were counted out, but you are about to be counted on. Michael announces, this reversal is not symbolic. It is strategic. Your name is being brought up in places where you were once rejected. People are being awakened to what they missed when they misunderstood you. Doors that closed are now unlocking by divine command. Because this next move will not be man-made. It will be heaven-ordained. And no one, no matter their position, title, or opinion, can block what God has reversed. The same mouths that mocked your fall will be silenced by your rise. The same hands that tried to block your blessing will be unable to touch what God places upon you. And hear this, you will not have to explain your transformation. You will not need to defend the shift. Because when God exalts, no justification is needed. When heaven lifts, He does so with authority, with clarity, and with undeniable power. Michael's sword has now pierced the atmosphere of injustice. The spiritual courtroom is clearing. The verdict is written in fire, restoration, honor, recompense, favor. Yes, God is not just giving you back what was lost, He is multiplying it. Divine interest is being added to every area of suffering. And that hidden enemy, the one who smiled at your delay, the one who held the door shut while pretending to cheer you on, the one who manipulated access and whispered against your name in shadows, they will see. But hear this, their exposure is not your focus. Their downfall is not your reward. Your elevation is your reward. Your peace is your reward. Your clarity, your joy, your supernatural acceleration. This is the justice, and it cannot be reversed. You're not stepping into recovery. You're stepping into revenge, God's version of it. And His revenge doesn't look like destruction. It looks like promotion. It looks like prophetic payback. It looks like a feast prepared in the presence of those who tried to cancel your harvest. This is the hour where everything changes, not because you forced it, but because you endured until God released it. Michael smiles now, voice thunderous but tender. They mocked your delay. Now they'll witness your rise. If this word has ignited your spirit and you feel led to support, consider blessing this work through a super chat, super thanks, or super sticker with a gift of up to $10. Your seed fuels the fire, helping us deliver more divine messages that speak directly into your moment. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating via PayPal using the Support Here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel. When you do, you're locking in weekly messages, exclusive content, and divine alerts you won't find anywhere else. This isn't just content, it's heaven's communication. Stay connected. Stay covered. Type divine reversal is mine in the comments of "This is your word." Blessing code 3131 has been activated over your vindication. This is the seal. This is the confirmation. This is the final moment where heaven leans close and stamps your journey with fire and glory. The miracle delayed is now activated. The countdown is over. The cry of Michael has been released, and you, chosen one, have answered. You have not missed it. You have arrived right on time. Take a deep breath. Not the kind of breath that comes from exhaustion, but the kind that signals relief. The kind that carries the weight of divine exhale. Because now, in this very moment, the gate has swung open. What was withheld has been granted. What was delayed has been delivered. What was blocked has been broken. You have crossed the threshold of resistance and stepped into the fulfillment of what heaven has long prepared for you. Michael stands tall, wings outstretched, sword no longer in defense, but in declaration. He lifts it to the sky and speaks the words that echo through every spiritual realm. They are sealed. They are seen. They are sent. Yes, you are sealed. Heaven has marked you with the seal of survival, not just surviving the betrayal, not just enduring the delay, but surviving the temptation to give up, to curse the promise, to walk away from the assignment. You stayed. You obeyed. You waited. And now, the seal is yours. The enemy cannot touch what God has claimed. The lies cannot reverse what heaven has written. The sabotage cannot stop what's already been signed in glory. And you are seen. You are not hidden anymore. The cloak of confusion has been removed. The fog of delay hath been lifted. Heaven sees you fully, completely, intimately. The God who watched you weep in private now announces you in power. The same God who heard your quiet surrender is now commanding the earth to honor your rising. You were not overlooked. You were being prepared. And now that the preparation is complete, you will be revealed. Not for your glory, but for His. And you are sent. This is not the end of your story. This is the beginning of divine deployment. The breakthrough wasn't the goal. The restoration wasn't the end. They were both the beginning of your sending. You are being launched into rooms you did qualify for in man's eyes, into opportunities you never applied for, into spheres of influence that need your voice, your discernment, your purity, your anointing. You are a carrier of fire. You are a vessel of glory, and you will walk as one who has been sent. So now, receive the final blessing, not a generic word, but a prophetic affirmation from heaven's throne. May your eyes open, not just physical eyes, but your spiritual sight. May you see clearly. May you discern swiftly. May you detect hidden motives, recognize divine movement, and perceive angelic activity without confusion. You will no longer be blind to warfare or deaf to warning. You will walk with insight so sharp it cuts through every disguise the enemy wears. May your voice rise, not in anger, not in defense, but in authority. May your declarations shift atmospheres. May your words carry weight. May your prayers tear through darkness and your worship open portals. Your voice is not ordinary, it is anointed. It is called, and from this day forward, it shall be heard by heaven and feared by hell. May your peace return. The anxiety that gripped you, the tension that drained you, the mental warfare that exhausted you, it all breaks now. Peace is not an emotion. It is a position. You are seated in the promise. You are grounded in grace. You are covered by covenant. And from this moment on, your peace will not be dictated by circumstance, but sustained by revelation. You are rising now, not alone, with angels, not confused, with clarity, not insecure, with divine confidence. This is the moment the enemy hoped he would miss. This is the activation he feared would never come. But heaven is victorious. The scroll has been fulfilled. The cry has been answered. The reversal hath been sealed. And now, so are you. You are sealed. You are seen. You are sent. Walk now. Rise now. Speak now. Move now. The countdown has ended, not in disaster, but in divine release. Type "the countdown is complete. I am sent" in the comments if you receive this final blessing. Blessing code 0000 has now wrapped your entire household, your assignment, and your future in holy fire.